On Sunday, it is expected that more than 100 Belizeans will make the journey to Sarstoon Island down south. Government officials have expressed disagreement with the trek, but Will Mejia and Orlando de la Fuente are hell-bent on making what they consider a powerful statement. The island was the center of controversy over the last weeks with Belize's decision to build a forward operating base on the island and Guatemala's disapproval of the infrastructural work. The government of Belize then began to dialogue with the Guatemalan government, and that move attracted a continuous flow of negative feedback from outspoken critics. Why does Belize have to consult with Guatemala in order to build on a piece of land that belongs to Belize? That was one of the questions asked, and to prove their point, which is that Sarstoon Island rightfully belongs to Belize, Mejia and De La Fuente are leading the group to the island on Sunday. They have sent letters to the government of Belize about their intention, and so has Lisa Schumann. Schumann, who is the lead opposition senator for the opposition People's United Party, has decided to be a part of the trek in her official capacity. She too sent letters to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Foreign Affairs and the military on my own behalf. I decided to accompany the BTV and also others who are going along with them. I believe media is going, and a few other supporters. And the reason that I did so was because I became very concerned yesterday after listening to the declarations that were being made by the Minister of National Security. It is clear to me that Sarstoon Island is a part of Belize. And even if it is an area that Guatemala is claiming, the point could also be made that Guatemala is claiming half of Belize and all of the keys. That is absolutely no reason for people not to go to Sarstoon Island. And I became very concerned that enough care and attention was not being taken. And I decided that it was my responsibility, since I have been a part of this process, to take seriously the concerns that the BTV and others have, particularly after the incident of yesterday, and after some reflection, consultation with the leader of the opposition who I represent. I decided that I would accompany the BTV, reached out to Mr. Will Mejia, let him know that I was interested, and received his kind invitation to accompany them. I think it is important, Daniel, to formally notify the government of Belize of what it is that I am intending to do. I'm a member of the National Assembly, among other things, and I think that it has to be taken very seriously when any member of the National Assembly is deciding to do something like this, because I am well aware that the government is of the opinion that this is some kind of a dangerous move or an unwise move. So I am letting them know formally that I will be accompanying the BTV.
Schumann also sent a letter of notification to Guatemalan Ambassador to Belize, Manuel Roldan Barrias. Schumann has requested that the government of Belize take proper measures to ensure the safety of Belizeans who will make the journey to Sarstoon Island.
I would hope that the government of Belize would take this expedition seriously enough to provide the safety and concern of all those who are attending. It's not a matter that my office is any special office to need more protection than anyone else, but it is certainly my intention to highlight that Belizeans deserve the care and concern of their government on any part of their country from internal or external threat. It isn't that I'm saying that there is an external threat. I'm saying if you're so concerned that the BTV and others accompanying the trip will be safe, then the smartest thing to do is to send the Coast Guard and or the BDF along to ensure that we remain in Belizean waters and that no harm comes to anyone. This is not the adjacency zone, and there is absolutely no reason why the Ministry of National Security cannot inform their counterparts in Guatemala and even offer to do the kind of link-up that they do along the adjacency zone. I'm saying that there is absolutely no reason to suppose that because Belizean military forces are in Belizean waters, that there will be any incident. I am sure that if the Guatemalan armed forces cross over into Belizean territorial waters, that we have enough sense and prudence to speak to them calmly and inform them what we're doing, which is that simply Belizeans are going to a part of Belize to make a statement.
On Wednesday, Will Mejia reported that while he and Orlando de la Fuente had made a trip to the island, they were intercepted by Guatemalan armed forces. Last week, the commander of the Belize Defense Force, Brigadier General David Jones, advised that the trip should be cancelled because it might aggravate and possibly tarnish the BDF's working relationship with their Guatemalan counterpart.
As well as ours does, what it is that Belizean civilians are going to do. I sympathize with the position taken by Brigadier General Jones, but I have also notified him that I'm going and why. And I think it is his responsibility, as it is any military official, to ensure that Belizean civilians are safe. I could understand if they were having military exercises in the area and we couldn't go. That would be a good reason not to go. I could understand if there had been some natural disaster and we would be putting the BDF in harm's way to ask them to accompany. And I don't see why there should be any concern that we are going for aggression. I make this very, very clear, and in fact, I've written to the Guatemalan ambassador here to advise him that we are going to go peacefully and as good neighbors.
Do you truly expect some sort of incident to happen just a few days ago?
Just before news time this evening, the government of Belize sent out a release responding to Schumann's letter. The release reads, quote, "The government expresses great consternation that Senator Schumann would join the excursion, considering she has a particular role as the opposition's representative on the bipartisan committee dealing with the Guatemalan territorial claim. The government advises the public that while Schumann is a senator, she is not going on this visit to the Sarstoon in her capacity as a senator, but instead as a private citizen. While she is trying to convey that she is going officially, Schumann has no authorization from the Senate. Similarly, she is not visiting the Sarstoon Island as a representative of the bipartisan committee," end of quote. The release continues by stating, quote, "The government views this as irresponsible of Senator Schumann and concludes that her actions are totally political. Her actions further demonstrate and expose the desperation of the opposition to use this all-important and deeply emotional national issue of the Belize-Guatemala border dispute for naked political gain," end of quote. GOB concludes its release by cautioning the Belize Territorial volunteers that the trip might be a dangerous one and says that Belizeans may be at risk of inadvertently entering into Guatemalan territory. Acting Foreign Affairs Minister, that should be Acting Foreign Affairs CEO Audrey Wallace, says that the message of the BTV's trip has been sent to their Guatemalan counterparts.
What I can say is that that information has been told to the Guatemalans, but we have not heard back from them officially. But that message has been relayed to the Guatemalans from our side. But I have not received an update as to a response from them, but I do know that the message was sent on to the Guatemalan authorities from their embassy in Belize and all the other ways that we have contacted the Guatemalans. But there's not been an official response that I'm aware of as yet. But what I can tell you, just a quick update on some of the things that have happened since yesterday. The new ambassador to the OAS, Pat Andrews, he met with the OAS Secretary General and his advisors in Washington, and once again seeking their assistance and support on this issue to avoid any incident from the Guatemalan side. We also know that the director of the Peace Fund, Magdaleno Talamas, and Ambassador Raul Lago, who is a special advisor to the OAS Secretary General on this Belize-Guatemala issue, they will be traveling to Belize on Saturday. And again, the objective is to ensure that peace prevails when the territorial volunteers visit the Sarstoon Island this coming Sunday.
Love News will be a part of the journey, and we will have the story in our newscast on Monday.